This is Angie Studio's makeup tutorial for Nancy.
Okay. First thing we do is we start with a foundation. I use CoverGirl. You can use any kind that you find. You want it to be either the same color or one shade darker than their skin tone. You can apply it using your fingers. I like to use a little face sponge. I just kind of dab it on. I do cheeks, the T-zone, and I do down by the chin. And it's just like anyone would put on their own foundation, or you would put your own foundation on. You just want to kind of smooth it out. It just kind of gives a nice, clean, fresh look, evens out the skin tone. You want to make sure that you get under the chin, around the neckline, so that you can kind of blend that makeup in so that you don't see a stark line. Sorry. Just gonna move that around there. Okay. Keep your head perfectly still. Okay. After that, you do not have to, but I choose to take a loose powder and I brush that on over the foundation. It tends to kind of help the makeup set just a little bit more. Stop laughing. I'm sorry, she's laughing. Okay, which is in turn making me laugh. This is very serious business, people. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I just like to go ahead and put a light powder over it and it helps it set. Okay, after that, the next thing I do... Uh-oh, do you have tissue? Here, use this. I will go ahead, I wait on the blush because sometimes the makeup from the eyeshadow drops down to the cheekbone area, and so you don't want to have to keep wiping it off and wiping it over, or doing it over. So before I start the eyeshadow, first thing I do is I give her usually like a tissue, or this is a little piece of paper, and I have her hold it right under her eye, so that will also catch any of that loose powder, and it just makes it a little bit easier for later. The next thing I do is take a primer. This primer I got from Walmart. It's a L'Oreal Studio Secret. You can find it at Walmart, Walgreens, Target. There's many different brands, and it's, like I said, it's just called makeup primer. Some come in a spray. This one is just like a little gel cream. I know Angie has a spray-on one. Either one works just as well, and I put it all over the eyelid. Now, I'm only going to do one side of her face, actually, so I guess I didn't have to do that. Okay, moving on, I'm going to go on to the eyeshadow portion. You should have purchased your Maybelline Eye Studio. It is, let's see, the blue blowout. It looks like this. Kind of comes with little different squares. You start with the very top, which is the silver glitter. It's kind of hard to see here, but the very top square, it is the lightest color. You're going to apply that to the eye and over the entire eyelid. Okay, close your eye. So I happen to use, it comes with its own makeup brush. I like to use eye makeup brushes. You can purchase little eyeshadow brushes at Walmart, Target, Walgreens, and they're fairly inexpensive. But that's what I choose to do because I feel like it helps. Can you look up for me? It helps apply a little bit better. And especially when you use a brush after you've used the primer, it really helps it set into the skin. Okay, so that's the first step. It's kind of hard to see. Okay, close your eye. A little hard to tell, but I did an all-over color. Again, like I said, with the top eyeshadow right here. Okay, then moving on, I'm going to use the bottom blue, which is this color down here, the very bottom triangle, and for that I am going to use my brush that comes with it. I'm going to put a little bit on there. I'm going to go to the inside corner. Look up for me. I'm going to dab some on the inside corner of the eye. You can see that right here. And then again, same color. this way. I'm going to go to the outside corner of the eye. Just put a little dab on there. Just kind of brightens that eye a little bit more. Not sure if you can see that. Close your eyes. Okay. Next up, we're going to use, sometimes you have to blow on this because the colors will kind of mix, so I want to be careful. The dark V, there's a V in here with a dark blue shadow. That's the one that we're going to use to contour the eye. So I'm going to take, again, I'm using a contouring eyeshadow brush, but you can use the brushes that come with it. I'm going to start right where the eye creases. So open your eye for me, Hannah. I'm going to go right into this area here, starting about 3/4 of the way, like right at the inside. Keep your eyes still. Right at the inside of the pupil, all the way to the edge. And then I'm going to come back from the edge and come back to the center of the eye, and I'm going to leave a space in the middle. Close your eye. So I'm going to make like a V with the eyeshadow. So here I am. I just went over. I'm contouring the top. 3/4 of the way in, all the way to the outside edge. I'm going to reapply a little bit more shadow, and I'm going to come from the outside edge and bring it all the way in, leaving a space in the middle so it looks like a V. Okay, open your eye, close your eye. I'm going to move this in a little closer so you can see that. Can you close your eye for me? See how there's space there in the middle, and then we're going to fill that again with some silver sparkle. Okay. You okay? Okay. Oh, just put that right in my mouth. Yum. Okay. So then to fill that gap, I'm going to go back to the very top, the top silver that we used to cover the whole eye. I'm going to go back in. You okay? Okay, look up. And I'm going to kind of just blend that top to bottom so that you don't see the stark line. And then I'll go back over just to kind of fill in that brow bone area. So this is what the, close your eye, the shadow will look like. That's very close up. Okay, can you open your eye? Alright, so that's the start. That's the hardest part of all the makeup. Not too bad. Moving on. Let's see, we can go ahead and move this off. So right now there are a few sparkles on her cheek, and that's really, that's going to be expected. And those sparkles will fall throughout the day, so that's not completely avoidable. But if there's excess, you can take a little a tissue or like a Q-tip and just kind of rinse that away. The next part of the project is going to be the eyelashes, and if your child is anything like mine, this is the least fun part. If they've not worn eyelashes in the past, it initially feels very awkward or uncomfortable for them, but once it sits on their eye for maybe 5 minutes, it just kind of starts to feel natural and they usually don't notice anymore. So if you notice that your lashes, the ones that we purchased through the studio, they have the nice glitter, I don't know if you can see that. I'm not sure oh, there it is. Has a nice glitter trim. They may be too long for your child's eye, so you may take scissors, if you know what you're doing, and maybe trim the edges just a little bit. But if you're not sure, you can always bring them on Friday and I can help you. So they come with their own eyelash glue. I have my own that I use, but either one is fine. You want to put a very tiny, tiny amount. You don't need a lot. So I usually do 1 drop like that. And then I just take the outside edge of the tube, and then I spread that one little tiny dot around. It doesn't need very much for adhesive. Now, some parents said these came sticky, and they didn't know if they would actually need glue, but you do need to apply the glue. Okay, so once I have put the glue on, you want it to set just a little bit so it gets tacky, so I usually kind of fan it or I blow on it to let it get a little tacky. Then you're going to take the small end, which is the inside edge. You're going to line it up with their lash line. So you actually want to put it all the way as close to the natural lash line as you possibly can, and just push it in so it sets on the lash and on the skin itself. Sorry. Sometimes it takes a few tries. Oh boy. And once you get it in place, I usually kind of just go, let me put some more glue on here. These have already been used a few times, so I gotta get just a little bit more on there. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see that, but you'll see a nice small white line. If you put too much, it'll start to drip and get really like goopy. And thankfully it dries clear, but you'll have a mess on your hands. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, close your eye. You will not have to use black eyeliner on the top row because this kind of covers that area, so that's nice. I'm going to hold this for 10 seconds. Okay, can you open? You got it? Okay. Well, careful. Don't blink too much. Okay, open again. I gotcha. Yep. There you go. Okay. So open your eye all the way. Look this way. It feels very strange at first. We're going a little bit more. Close your eye. Okay. And then here, turn your head toward me. I'm having a hard time seeing. Okay. Turn this way. Good. There's a reflection on the eyelash, but it should just be black on the end. Okay. So then from there, like I said, you don't have to put the eyeliner on the top row, but what I do sometimes is I go underneath, look up at the ceiling, and I just have her blink, and that's it. One time. Don't blink again. And that way it kind of just gets a little bit of that under lash and then kind of pulls them together a little bit. And then for the lower lashes, you may use liquid black eyeliner. I find for the lower lashes, it's easier for me to use a pencil. But liquid or pencil would be fine. It just depends on what you're most familiar with using. So with a liquid liner, can you keep your eye open? It gives a more of a permanent, can you keep your eye open? I know this is your least favorite part. A more permanent line. So that's why most people prefer the liquid. My child just has a really hard time with eyeliner, so I like to use something that I can make adjustments to. And then I just do one real quick dab on the lower lashes for mascara. So I have her look up at the ceiling. Oop, don't blink. And I just kind of, just a tiny bit. Okay, so that's it. So let me zoom in here a little bit. Okay, oh, I need to find your red lipstick. Okay, ready? Look at the camera. Look up. Don't look at yourself, just look up. Can you look up at the ceiling? See the underline there? I have black eyeliner and a little bit of mascara. Okay, now look right at the camera. Okay, so I'm just going to do the one side. I hope that's sort of helpful. Then we go on to the blush. Again, it does come with a blush brush. I find that if I use my own kind of blush brush, which is something like this, which again, you can get a makeup brush set for under $3, usually at Walmart. It tends to help really get that blush onto the brush and then onto the cheek. So I'm going to have her smile. I'm going to start right here. I'm going to go up. And obviously you want to do a much heavier blush than you would normally do on yourself, because when they're in those stage lights, it really does wash out their features. And so really can't have too much blush. You don't want it all the way into the hairline, but you want to be here at those cheeks and then let it run back. Is that itching? Okay, let me see. So I usually kind of push it into the cheek, the nice little apple of the cheek there, and then I extend it out. And obviously on that day, if you know, we'll kind of go around and do a check, and if they need a little bit more blush, we'll let you know. As far as